and I'm going to be working on missed opportunities, how to win back inactive customers. So, quickly, a small introduction about me. I work with the company called TimesPro. It's an edtech company. It's a well-kept secret in the edtech industry. We are a growing, profitable edtech company, which is rare. So yeah, I belong to TimesPro. So I think a lot of us sit traditionally on legacy data, on databases, on data we've acquired or customers we've acquired at some stages, but we've lost somewhere down the line. And then I mean, our marketing teams tend to keep spending money to reacquire the same customers or in some way try and get them back. So, we'll talk about some strategies of how we get these customers back where we already have some connect. Do you have? Yeah. So, yeah, firstly, what's an inactive customer? I mean, the answer is pretty obvious. Somebody who's low in frequency. I mean, it could be high value, it could be low value. While our focus is obviously going to be on high value customers, but it's again industry specific. I come from an industry where every product is high value. So it doesn't matter what category they fall in, but every customer is important. So, I mean, some definitions, value, obviously average order value, subscription plan type, the brands that they're buying, uh, the frequencies, how many times they're coming back to your platform, how many times they're purchasing from you, what kind of value they're purchasing from you. Again, it is a lot of it is company specific, a lot of it is industry specific. And again, coming back to the industry that I come from, and not just edtech, thank you, and not just edtech, but we're in the upskilling space of edtech where our average selling point is about 2 lakhs. So we don't expect the customers to keep coming back to us and keep purchasing. So yeah. Now, when we are trying to reactivate a customer or trying to gain back a lost customer, there are probably some of the dimensions that we look at. So one is the frequency. So how many times is the customer engaging with you? How many times are they coming and they're looking at your products? How many times are they opening your email? Or how many times they're picking up your calls? So, that could be few of the metrics. Then category. So again, the industry or the company that I come from, we have three broad categories. We have categories where we sell to a working professional, we sell to somebody who's a very fresh graduate, and we also sell to corporate clients. Again, this could be different for different companies. For a lot of e-commerce companies, it could be the brands that they're purchasing. It could be the category of products they're purchasing. A lot of it could be different. And the last is, of course, the brand. So you could have categories in premium brands, you could have categories in low value brands, value brands. So again, it'll depend on who your customer is and which category do they fall in, because all your segmentation is going to depend on probably some of these dimensions. While there are 3 dimensions here, there could be a lot more dimensions, and I'm pretty sure you all are from different industries and you have different experiences. Now, when we try to reach our inactive customers, one of the things and uh, we all have analytics teams, we all have data, we know when the customer has been active, when the customer has not been active, and we try to be smart. We try to tell the customer, we know what you're doing. I don't think the customers like that. I mean, a lot of customers find it creepy. You tell them that you're not interacting with us, so they know that. It's probably by choice. So what do you want to do about it? I mean, another thing is personalization. Sometimes we take personalization to a different level, and how many of us have been probably creeped out by the ads that we've seen on different websites? So I think it's important to keep it simple. It's important to know that you value the customer. It's important to tell them that we are here if you ever want to come back. So keeping it simple. First point is quick action buttons. You need to make it simple for the customers. You need to make it simple for them to understand what they want to do. Abhudaya right now was talking about something that a lot of customers think that they know what they want. Sometimes they don't. So if you just make it easier, it could be a positive sign. Then again, so the what I was talking about, we miss you. I don't know if that works. If I'm a tech brand and I tell them, we miss you, they're going to say, okay, good for you, and they're probably never going to come back. So I think it's very important to know uh, what your customer is looking for. And a lot of us have CRMs, we have their dispositions captured, we know uh, why they dropped out or why they're not coming back. If we can solve that, if we can make that enticing for them. We've covered some specific use cases in the future slides, so I'll come to that. Uh, this is the marketing 101. Customers spend less than 5 seconds reading any communication, emails even less maybe. I mean, if they even open your email. So how do you catch their attention in the first go? That's very, very critical. I mean, a few of you would be from the content background or would be interacting with the content people. So, you guys know that this is probably creating the subject line for an email is probably one of the most difficult things to do for a content writer. So some examples. I mean, we all have probably subscriptions to a minimum of 10 e-commerce sites on our apps, or on our mobiles. Uh, how many, in a day, we probably get a lot of these messages that, they have certain offers going on or they have certain discounts, but some of the catchy uh, copies that works well, these are from D2C industry, may not work well for edtech, but, we're trying to see what works for all. There could be, while this is more specific to D2C, there could be something which is probably more suitable for some other industry. So we have a one-time purchase, like I'm saying, like I was talking about. Can we make them come to us for maybe not a purchase? Maybe we offer them a free course. Maybe we offer them uh, a free webinar. Maybe if there's some reason for them to come back rather than just spending money, maybe, we could have that customer engaging with us, and once they start the engagement, I mean, the customer could see value and they could find values in different products and different services. Yes. Yeah, yeah, sure.
On the previous slide, you had mentioned that one line, right?
Yes.
For example, we miss you, we are your coupon to come back. So I just wanted to ask one thing. So there is personalization and there is relevance. So like you said, it can be too creepy, some personalization, but how do we communicate to them that this is not something that I'm giving to the entire junta? This is, for example, instead of a 10% that I'm giving to everybody, I'm giving you 20% because of this reason, and this is for you.
So a lot of it, will also depend from here. Uh, which category do they depend on? Do they fall in? So if it's a frequent customer, who suddenly stopped coming, you could give them a coupon saying that, this is your welcome back coupon. Or, somebody who's been purchasing certain brands and suddenly they've stopped purchasing certain brands. So you could talk about that particular product from that particular brand. So it will depend on which segment they fall in, and a lot will depend on their dispositions. So, based on their past behaviors, based on their experiences, you will probably be able to take a call on what is the right communication. I understand you can't customize it for every single customer, but within these categories, then these dimensions could be very different from for your industry. So based on these dimensions, you'll be able to create a communication.
We are positioning our brand as somebody who's probably talking in that manner, who's used to talking in a quirky or funny or that kind of manner, then probably it is
it's okay to say that, but again, there has to be some context. So, if somebody who's been inactive with a brand, who used to purchase from a brand for example, every month, and they've been inactive with a brand for a year. I mean, suddenly you go to them and you tell them that we miss you. Maybe a little, but there could be a lot more intelligent, quirky ways, where you don't put them off, but still communicate your message and still make them see. Ultimately, customers want to feel valued, right? So you tell them that you are valued. We know what you're looking for, and we're here for you. Not push it.
More from their perspective.
Yeah. Because ultimately everybody in every communication, why do personalizations work? So if I see my name, if I see Neha in the subject line, I tend to open that email because ultimately you feel that it's something for you. I mean, while everybody knows that there are tools to do that, but you tend to do that. You tend to feel
And if I
valued.
understand right, instead of saying that I miss you, come back and buy from me, rather say what you probably did 1 year ago, and probably this is something that you can
Yes.
do again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So some of the examples now, the medium. So the customer is a lost customer or a customer is inactive. Uh, In-app push notifications may not be the best way. The easiest way to get into somebody's mind is an email. And that's probably the first port of action for every brand, be it e-commerce, be it edtech, uh, be it a B2B brand. We want to get into their minds slowly, uh, gauge their interest level. So email obviously is the first touch point for most brands for the same reason, and obviously it's one of the cheaper. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, please go on. Yes. Hmm. So, uh, it's a fair point, and definitely the open rate for emails is obviously going down every year. But uh, if you have about, on an average, 100 apps on your phone, for how many apps would you have a push notification on? Or if you're using a browser and you've accepted the push notification, so how many websites would you have actually allowed push? Yeah. And even in app, if you have about 100 apps, I mean, on an average, each one of us have much beyond that. For how many apps would you have it on? Notifications. And how many notifications do you receive in an hour? Of the relevance and of not of relevance. So, yeah. No, so I don't disagree. See, it depends. If you're, for example, Amazon, or if you're a Zomato, you may want to still continue push notification. I mean, it's probably the cheapest way to reach a customer and get their attention. But again, if I go back to purchases or companies where the the transactions are not regular, I can tell you for edtech companies, the push notifications or uh, the percentage of users who would have that on would be probably less than 10%. So you anyways will not be, and most of the customers, if they've been inactive for a year, they would probably have uninstalled the apps. So while that is still the most effective method, This is when we're talking about getting a inactive customer back. Somebody who's not engaging with you. And that's the reason why slowly, even if they don't open your email, and if they look at your email after a few days, they see and they have some brand recall that, okay, the brand is existing. So that's the thing. But again, it could be case to case basis, and there could be different situations where push notifications could still work. Absolutely, absolutely. It is definitely sector to sector. But in general, if we are talking about, so if you were talking about activation, the previous session, in that push notifications, definitely. This is a customer who's not with you anymore. So sometimes it can actually get annoying because you don't know the right time to start engaging with that customer. So with email, you gauge their interest. Sometimes if they are interested, you do a couple of campaigns and you gauge their interest and you figure out where they stand. But again, it depends company to company. It depends on your product and on your brand. Yeah, absolutely. WhatsApp, definitely, but WhatsApp is one of the more expensive ways to reach. Also, basis the regulations, there are certain guidelines, right? So you can't engage with them beyond certain number of months, and you can't initiate the conversation. So there are certain limitations to WhatsApp. While WhatsApp, even with higher cost, may be the most effective, but yeah, there are limitations to that. So that's the thing, and that's why while emails says the first, second is push notifications. While if we can, we should try and reach out to them to push, which is again a cheaper method to reach them, which is something which will get their attention even if they ignore it. Uh, SMS, I mean SMS, WhatsApp, etc. Again, there are regulations even for SMS, so you have to limit it. Plus, after WhatsApp, I think SMS usability has gone down, especially when it comes to D2C brands, especially when it comes to high value purchases. Um, and then you try the in-app, web push, and spending money, go to social media, go to Facebook, Google. Again, that's when you have certain conviction that it's a customer who's interested in coming back. So I wanted to talk about couple of use cases from specifically at tech. So like I said, for us, ARPU is around 2 lakhs. We don't have people coming back to us and repurchasing. But what we do have is conversion. So we have a certain data we reach out to. We have a certain prospect base. From that, we have certain level of conversions. Now that conversion could be somewhere between 1 to 3%, but you do have those 97% of users of which there could be a possibility of conversion maybe at a later date. Uh, you know, again, when I talk specifically about TimesPro, we are targeting certain level of customers who are a tax paying, working professional in a certain salary category. There aren't a lot of those. So after a few years of doing active marketing, you are reaching out to the same customer over and over again, just in different ways. And you're spending money, a lot of hard-earned marketing money to achieve what could be done with some simple reactivation techniques. So in our company, for example, we do a lot of reactivation. We have databases, we use segmentations, we have dispositions of why that user has dropped out. For example, if we know the user has dropped out for financial reasons, they can't afford the fees. If we have a program which is launched in a cheaper category, or if we have certain schemes going on, or if we can ask them for referrals and in turn give them some discounts. So that's something that we do. We reach out to the customers. We've done a campaign like that about 3 months back, and we've seen about 12% users in a database of about a lakh who've actually come back and engaged with us in some way. Not all of them have actually converted into paid customers, but yeah, we've we managed to get these customers back. Similarly, one more use case again, you know, in every industry now we talk about the LTV. For the customer, we want to increase LTV. The biggest challenge in any industry right now is the cost of acquisition. So while we can't control that beyond a point, what we can control is how we make the most of the customer we have. So for us, engaging with the alumni, getting the alumni to contribute to a future revenue is extremely important. So we do a few of these things, we offer them free courses. We keep doing industry webinars so that they keep coming back. Uh, we have course recommendations. So we launch bouquet of courses, which could be low cost courses, which could be more of impulse courses. So they could just purchase some or recommend it to their friend, etc. So again, it results, I mean, while we've seen 15%, we've not even done it in a structured way, and we expect to see a lot more of our users coming back. So, in all, when we talk about not every inactive customer is going to come back. Some customers are dead customers. I mean, not literally dead, but yeah, they're not going to come back. So, we do need to know, we have to draw a line somewhere. We do need to know that we can't keep on chasing a certain customer. We need to have a strategy of some of the actions that we are going to do and at what intervals we are going to do, and then we know when to give up. So, with segmentation, with content, and with right channel, either we'll get more money or we'll get the inactive customers staying as inactive. So, this is broadly what I wanted to talk to you about. Happy to take your questions. This is limited understanding. A lot of it is from EdTech because I belong from that industry, but happy to understand your perspectives.
I have one query.
Yeah, yeah,
You
sure.
talked about email marketing, right? Can you suggest some hacks? Because generally the open rate for emails are, as somebody mentioned, are very low,
Absolutely.
right? So could you mention any hacks like how can we optimize that funnel?
So, so for emails, at least what worked for us is your subject line. So personalizations and what is the value proposition for the customer within the subject line. I think these two things is what, because if you don't have a subject line that makes them open the email, then you anyways will not get the open rate. And keeping it simple. Making it too complex or making it too fancy doesn't work. Even when they open the email, keeping it simple, the communication, they can understand what is it in it for them, what is it in for them. So that's what is important. Anyone else? Anything?
I have a question.
Yes, yes, yes.
I am from the same industry, EdTech, and we kind of face a similar challenge here as well. So what we have seen is that over a period of time, there is a large segment of our audience which does get inactive, let's say over a period of 3, 4, 5 months. And one challenge that we face is, do we treat this audience as a tofu audience or as somebody who knows our product already? So that's the messaging challenge that we have. So should we treat them as if they are new users because they have not been active on the app anymore, or should we start from where they left? What has been your experience?
So, generally, it has to be a two-pronged strategy. Maybe when you initiate a conversation with them, you start with something new that you're doing. Maybe it's a new product launch or a new feature that you've come up with. Maybe you start with that, and basis the reaction, you decide if you want to go back and go to the point one with them or take off from where they had already left. But treating it either ways could go, I mean, treating them as new customers could not go in your favor because they will probably be like, we already know this. Or treating them as somebody who knows everything may also not work in your favor because they may be clueless. So maybe start with something new that you're doing and then ease back into and understand where they stand. Yeah.
I have one thing. When you were discussing the use case one, you said understanding why they have become inactive is important. So the thing is, for example, I work in a cosmetic brand and we take care of specifically the D2C segment. So the thing is, I have a large chunk of inactive customers who probably made a purchase 1 year ago and haven't returned. How do we find
obviously.
So for example, we're trying to understand why uninstalls are going up. Some reasons were ki I have no reason. It's just I don't right now
There are better
purchasing from you.
avenues.
I'm
Yeah.
purchasing from a retail shop, which is your own. So they were like, sugar ka hi hai, just not from your side. So I'm like, what do I do about that? So the reasons are so many. How do we better target when I don't know why they are inactive?
So see, a couple of things that could help. One is if you can look at the reviews, and use certain NLP to figure out what are the keywords that are used in the reviews and is there a pattern. So if you find somebody who's not happy with with the customer service or with the returns or with the product in itself, you'll figure out. That could be one of the things. The other could be maybe the pricing. So you will have the web talking about why people are not buying from this. So it could be because there are some other offers going on somewhere else, and if you could better that. While it may not be applicable, like I said, these are examples which are specific to us. It may not be applicable to all, but could be few such reasons.
So
Or
what
you
is
could
meant
just,
to
yeah,
understand patterns, since we don't have correct exact data, understand
exactly,
patterns and
yeah,
kind of extrapolate and see whether it is impacting.
exactly. Try out a couple of things, create at least certain segments or buckets. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm not a marketer, I'm a journalist. So, how much percentage of customers are actually inactive or dead? Rough idea.
Uh, it it will definitely depend on industry. For us, at least 40%.
40%.
For our specific company, at least 40%. It will completely depend on the industry and the stage of the company.
For how long you keep them counting in your database?
Exactly. So that's the point. You have to have certain strategies that you reach out to them so many times and through so many mediums. And if you don't get a response, you finally declare them as dead and move on. Because there needs to be some point where you have to give up on that customer.
So, you remove them from the database?
You, I mean, it's a CRM strategy. I mean, it's a data strategy. We don't remove anybody from the database. Maybe in 2 years' time, we have something radically different which is launched, and we still want to, yeah, and we may still want to communicate it to them. So, yeah,
Yeah, I think I had the same question.
yeah,
What point do you declare them dead?
yeah. Cool then. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Neha.